I spent $1,242.17 on the iPhone 16 Pro last November. The iPhone 17 Pro has dropped, and I've been hovering over the order button for weeks. I realize this is going to sound crazy coming from a tech YouTuber, but I don't need it. That realization made me question everything I've been doing for the past decade. I was stuck in the yearly upgrade cycle for years, hanging on to the marketing from Apple and hype online from social media, especially YouTube. From the iPhone 12 to 13 Pro Max to 14 Pro, this is when I started to question, what was I doing? Not only financially, but the features introduced by Apple were less and less desirable over the years. Ultimately, it took spending over $5,000 on iPhones before that reality sunk in. This goes all the way back to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which cost me about $1,000. So did the iPhone 12. The iPhone 13 Pro Max was somewhere around $1,400, as was the iPhone 14 Pro. Before that, I did the same thing with Android devices, with a new Samsung or Google phone every single year. For the first time in a decade, I kept a phone longer than that 1 year mark with the iPhone 14 Pro. Here's what had me beginning to question my financial decisions. How would my tech YouTube channel survive if I wasn't always reviewing the latest and greatest phone? The feature stack on the latest iPhones has come at a disappointing pace. Apple is rarely first at anything, that's certainly still true, but a lot of the best features over the past 5 years have come via software updates and not physical hardware. From iPhone 12 to 13 Pro Max, I gained ProMotion, which I never even noticed, a telephoto camera that I rarely used, a slightly faster chip while never having performance issues, and the main reason I got it was for better battery life and a bigger display. From the 13 Pro Max, I decided I didn't want to lug around the giant phone anymore and wanted to go back to the smaller form factor. The 14 Pro introduced Dynamic Island, always on display, a slightly faster chip, roughly the same battery life as the Pro Max phone, and a 48 megapixel main camera, which I did often use. Other than that, it was basically the same phone, still all running the same software, getting the same updates. Then looking at the 15 Pro with the same battery life, slightly faster chip, Apple log, and they changed from stainless steel to titanium, I actually did like the design better, but it was really hard to put a price tag on that. The lack of substantial features helped keep me from buying into the hype. I still watched every video and read all kinds of articles about the new iPhone, though. I fought through the urge to buy it many times, and my mindset began to shift. When the 16 Pro was announced, my 14 Pro battery was severely degraded, and I was dealing with carpal tunnel, so the lighter, easier to hold 16 Pro design was of interest to me. Plus, taking a look at the specs, I got the amazing titanium design, new camera control button, 2 generations faster chip, better battery life, 48 megapixel wide camera in addition to the main camera, a 5x telephoto lens, Apple Intelligence, Apple log, and USB-C finally. The spec sheet started to make a little bit more sense. I could point to almost all of those features, looking at you, camera control, and explain how they would help my workflow and improve my experience of using the phone day to day. So what if that was the reframe that I needed? The iPhone is not a status symbol. No one cares more about what iPhone you have than you do. So what if you looked at it like a business investment? Not an investment that will grow or make money over time, because it's certainly not that either. It's more like a tool that you need. If you're a photographer, the latest camera features might be something that you'd utilize every day. If you do professional video with the iPhone, you'd want Apple Log 2 and the latest video features of the 17 Pro. The reality is, professionals don't upgrade their gear every year, though. A photographer might keep the same camera and lenses for a decade before upgrading. Despite those people out there who just say, well, it's a business expense, write it off. A business expense carries more scrutiny. You can tie a monetary benefit to the tool that you use to make a living. You'd calculate a payoff period for the time it saves or the additional revenue that it could generate before going out and spending thousands of dollars on a piece of technology every single year. Over 5 years, I'd spent thousands of dollars. Could I point to some way that these devices made my life thousands of dollars better? Absolutely not. The other thing to consider is that iPhone trade-in values go down over time as you'd expect, and they depreciate worse than cars. Because of this, the over $1,000 price tag demanded by iPhones these days results in a lot of buyer's remorse. People often feel bad after buying the new phone because their brains tricked them into thinking they needed the latest and greatest one, even when their old phone works perfectly fine. Companies like Apple use marketing tricks to make you feel like you're missing out or that a new phone will make you cooler, but these feelings aren't real needs. Your current phone is probably good enough, and keeping it longer will save you money and help you feel better about your choices. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. I am part of the problem. There are tons of eyeballs on YouTube and social media. Brands send free gear and want sponsored posts, and even without that, many YouTubers are buying gear out of their own pockets to review, to get a video out as soon as possible to strike while the fire is hot. This marketing cycle creates artificial urgency. Titles like "Do This Before Buying," "Best iPhone in Years" drive clicks and millions of eyeballs to videos about the latest product. You watch just one of these and you'll be inundated with every single other iPhone review video on YouTube until you're sick of watching them and maybe you've even bought the damn thing already. So the treadmill continues. Without fail, every fall, Apple will hold an iPhone event and invite a bunch of people to Apple Park. The show is content in and of itself. Every new feature gets a first hands-on impression from the world's most influential tech voices. Apple is still a cheat code for YouTube. You want some quick views and a video to perform well, pick out one of Apple's newest premium products to review. I happen to love this stuff, but it still blows my mind every time. So before you decide you need the new iPhone based on glowing YouTube reviews, remember, you're watching content that exists because it's profitable for both the creator and Apple, releasing on a timeline that Apple controls, featuring a product that Apple selected for specific people to review. This doesn't mean that every review is dishonest, but it does mean that you should question whether your desire for an upgrade is really yours, or if it's been manufactured by a multi-billion-dollar marketing machine that is very, very good at its job. No one needs to upgrade every year, but Apple's constant development cycle ensures that no matter what phone you're coming from in years past, there's something new for you. So when should you upgrade? I think the 2 to 3 year cycle seems to make the most sense at this point, which is why it seems like there's never-ending demand for the iPhones every year. Apple isn't targeting the person with last year's device, though they benefit from the tech heads that want to be on the bleeding edge, buying them and posting their thoughts online for the world to see. For them, it's free marketing. If you went from iPhone 12 to the iPhone 15, that would have made a lot of sense. I did the iPhone 14 to 16, and a lot of people online argued that that was ridiculous, but even that is more reasonable than buying a new phone every year. 15 to 16 or 16 to 17 doesn't really make sense financially or from a feature perspective. So some practical tips that you might want to consider before upgrading. If your battery level is below 80%, Apple will replace it for a small charge. Or if a specific feature solves a problem in your workflow, business, or personal life, that might be reason for upgrade. Also thinking about, can you afford this without debt? Not putting the phone on a payment plan through Apple or your carrier and incurring new debt in order to get the phone is something that you should at least consider. And what could you do instead? Well, you can extend your upgrade cycle as long as physically possible. 3 to 4 years, think about your cost savings calculation, battery replacement option of $100-ish versus $1,200 on a new phone. You could take the money that you were going to spend on the new phone and apply it to pay off credit card debt or save or invest the difference to focus on your financial future. You could also think about optimizing what you currently have. Your iOS updates are going to come to your new phone, bring features without the new hardware. Different photography apps can help you have an improved experience with the camera and help you master what you already do have. And then things like battery health optimization might be able to prolong the life of your battery a little bit further. A year ago, I would have pre-ordered the iPhone 17 Pro as soon as I could. But there's a freedom to breaking the cycle. Currently, for me, financial freedom weighed higher than my love for tech and the ability to just buy something new to review it. So my challenge to you is, before you upgrade anything tech-related, ask yourself just one question. What problem does this actually solve? If you can't answer that simple question, you don't need the new iPhone. And get subscribed for more Apple videos, product reviews, and productivity systems. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Later.